Hey guys, this is Shane with DNS Adventures, and today I'm going to give you a little update on our dinky little homestead. Yes! To be fair, we haven't really got a whole lot of compost yet. Once we get some more greens growing from the grass and other weeds and stuff, we'll probably start throwing those in there. Right now we don't have a lot to throw in there besides just some, coffee grinds and stuff like that. One advantage of having a horse is getting a pile of horse manure over there to let that start decomposing over a couple years. And we were able to plant some rhubarb. Deanna got that in there, so we have 4 plants. Only looks like 3 of them are coming up, so we may have to go run and get another rhubarb plant to finish this.
We got these from Tractor Supply, and they came in packs of 2. So if we want more, we'd probably have to buy 2.
Yeah, so we'd have to make a room for that 5th one. Over here, Damien, Emily, all the strawberries they gave us, it looks like we need to weed a little bit through here. But strawberries look like they survived. Need to clean out some of this area here. We have a big list to do and not a lot of time to do it in. Then we also have the strawberries in the raised bed. I can't remember which type is in which bed.
These are the Everbearing, I believe.
Everbearing.
And those are the Junebearing over
Juneberry.
there.
Okay. Then our trees are starting to do pretty good too. Here we got our 2 pear trees. 1, 2. And then we got our apple trees back there. The one furthest away hasn't started blooming yet, but the one in front has. They are different varieties, so maybe that one's just a late bloomer back there. Then more recently we just got this peach tree, and Deanna just planted that today actually. So what are these sticks we have coming out of the ground here? Why do we have sticks on the end of our beds?
So this is just a garden stake, but it has what's called bone sauce applied to it, which is a deer repellent that is supposed to last a really long time because it's like oil-based, it's not water-based, so it doesn't wash off. We're trialing it right now, so I'm not going to say too much about it until we know it works, but if it does, we'll recommend it. We got it off of a fellow YouTuber, so we'll see how it goes. Then in these beds, a lot of them, actually 3 of them are completely empty right now, so there'll be more potatoes, sweet potatoes, and I don't know, tomatoes, peppers, that kind of thing. So this bed here is mostly potatoes on both sides. They're starting to come up a little bit. Then along the end here, we have sugar snap peas. They're also just starting to come up.
Vining sugar snap
peas. Yeah, that's
peas.
why the trellises are here. So in this bed, I don't see any evidence of it, but I planted a whole bunch of carrots. So hopefully they'll start to sprout soon. Then here, this is mostly empty right now. There's some ginger on this side. It's kind of a trial because I've heard you shouldn't do ginger in full sun, but we also have some over there in partial shade.
We'll get to those in a bit.
Yeah. Then here is all onions.
That we need to thin out a little bit.
Yeah, most of the spacing is okay. It's like 4 inches, but I had extras, so there's another row in here. Actually 2 rows we have to thin out a little bit.
Any idea what we're putting in this bed yet?
Not sure yet. Yeah. We're sprouting some sweet potatoes right now, so hopefully that goes well.
Yeah. We love our sweet potatoes. So does Blaze.
Yeah.
Then over here we're thinking about putting some sort of a herb garden, maybe even a medicinal garden at some point.
Yeah.
Deanna's obviously just trying to plan out where she wants to put things right now. So we're thinking about putting a path going up through here, so we're gonna have to plan out the location accordingly. It's a lot easier just to put the cardboard down to kill the grass rather than digging, because if you're digging upside, you have to get all the dirt off the sod, otherwise you leave basically a crater underneath your sod. So it's easier just to kind of kill the grass with cardboard than start on top of it. Our little shack is kind of holding up okay right now. These windstorms have been nasty. We ended up putting a new tarp on here, but we had such a big windstorm that it ripped out almost every single grommet here in the back. Just threads of material through here now. So we might be getting a carport here this year to hopefully replace this. It just depends how much money we want to spend this year, trying to space everything out. We did get most of the cedar and maple chipped over here, and that's why you could see over there by the trees we had a lot more chips around there. We ended up going around everything on the outside, since weeds will tend to come back up around here. We put some flags around our berry bushes and some of our trees out here, just so we don't lose where they are and accidentally rip something up we're not supposed to. Obviously these raspberries aren't going to be that hard to spot, but some other things might be harder to spot on the other side. This is hopefully our deer slash, well, probably not bear proof yet. We're probably going to buy an electric fence. This is our area where we're going to be doing a fairly large container garden area. We have, those are all going to have potatoes in them, I believe, right?
They all have potatoes in them right now, except this last one with the edges curled over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so those are just grow bags, and we'll post a link to them here in our description if you want to get something like them. You could just get them on Amazon.
Yeah, they were Amazon, I think like $20 or something for 6.
Yeah, they're basically tarps with holes in the bottom, so the water can drain out. But the rest of these are, most of them are self-watering containers. These 3 are not. Yeah. So some of a mix of self-watering and not containers, and then we have our blueberry bushes in the middle. Obviously, once the blueberry bushes grow bigger, we aren't going to be able to plant stuff behind them because it'll be blocking too much of the sunlight. But this year, we're doubting they'll be growing up too much.
Yeah. So we're just doing this temporarily because we have the fence here, so discourage the critters.
Yeah, last year we actually put some on our deck, but yeah, we're hoping to not have as much junk on our deck this year and actually plant out in the yard if possible.
They get more sun here too.
Yeah, very much so. It is actually fairly warm today, so it's starting to feel like it's spring. Yeah. It's nice. Our wood pile is starting to stack up pretty well. This stuff was never covered, but it's actually fairly well seasoned even though it wasn't covered. But there are some ants and stuff starting to make nests in there. We got to be careful what we pick out to actually burn in there, since we did get a wood stove as well, as I mentioned in a previous video. We also got a bunch of poles here. I'm not sure what we're going to do with them yet. The cedar poles would be actually pretty handy since some of them are pretty wide, and those are literally just from trees that we got cut down. Actually, most of these are just trees rather than branches that we cut down. Some of them are tree of heaven, which honestly aren't super useful pieces of wood, but the locust and cedar and maple should be pretty helpful around the property. So we also laid in kind of a unlevel. I tried to level that with the tractor, but it's so thick rock in there I couldn't get it through with my little dinky tractor. But I tried to level that out a little bit, and we put a geotextile fabric down and then spread gravel across it. That way we can, instead of pulling through our yard over that way, we can kind of pull the RV through or go straight up through here and kind of back it in. The only problem with the setup currently is, again, you can't really tell on video very well, but it drops off significantly here, then it levels out. So we're probably gonna have to get some more gravel poured in here before we use that, but one step at a time, I guess. So in a previous video, I showed you with our tractor us shoving off some of the top layer here so we get the dirt exposed and plant some perennials. And this is a part that we started clearing off all the trees and everything. You can see some of the roots and stumps still sticking up through the ground here. But we do plan on extending basically our yard over this way a bit more. Again, in the GoPro, it makes it look so flat, but this whole yard is so hilly. It's probably about maybe 30 feet difference from up there to down here. You just can't really see it in the video. Might be a little less than that, maybe 25, I don't know. But it's still pretty steep hill. But yeah, we're trying to extend it all the way over here. And you can see on, as I said in previous videos, satellite images where this used to actually be out farther. This is all just kind of new growth beyond some of these thicker trees over here. You can see how small these trees over here that just recently started growing. So we want to kind of reclaim part of this property so we can grow some more things. So what's the spacing of the bone sauce on the different stakes through here?
So not only is it on these stakes, which I've kind of placed just, I don't know, somewhat arbitrarily and no specific spacing, but also on some of the plants themselves I've put it. So
yeah, so it's not toxic to the plants at all.
That's right, yeah. And so what it really is it's like an oil that's made with the bones of deer and rabbits, I think. So yeah. I guess when they get a whiff of it, it smells like danger to them because it's their species. I don't know, but apparently it works. So
yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
We don't want to. It works for us, yeah. Okay, so anywhere we see a red flag, we've planted something. If you see anything green in between it, that's just nature. We're gonna get to that at some point and try to pull most of it up. We've got chives, we've got black raspberries. This is red currant. More black raspberries. We've got elderberry in the back. We've got gooseberry, bush cherries in the back.
I love cherries. That's like, I'm ready for some cherry pie. Okay, continue.
Might be a little while.
Oh.
This is a hostaberry, which is a currant gooseberry cross. So this one is a blackberry. In here is like a line of ginger. And then back here we've got one very wimpy looking plum tree.
It may not make it.
We'll see how it does.
It's kind of arched.
Curved.
Yeah.
It was the last one they had and I really wanted a plum tree, so.
One of the projects I plan on doing pretty soon is fixing our bush hog. Fixing, it's not really broken, it's just these braces got bent when I went into a dip. So I'm gonna try to bend these out, straighten them, and then put some extra metal going alongside it to keep it a little bit more rigid. And also be more careful while I'm driving the tractor around. There's also a couple more projects RV related that I need to tackle here soon. I started recording one of them today, but I need to order a part, so I can't finish that video today. But I'm starting to work on our refrigerator. One of the temperature sensors seemed to have gone bad. And also when I misdiagnosed it thinking it was the fan, I had to splice in some wires to put a fan in there. So I'm going to correct that mistake in an upcoming video. It's probably just not going to be out for a little while because parts seem to take forever to actually ship these days. And another project I plan on doing is actually fixing our water heater. Ray from Love Your RV actually made a video similar on it, so I'm not sure if I'll actually make a video on it or just fix it. But it might be helpful just showing you on a different brand of RV what it looks like around the water heater, especially for those of you that do own a Reflection by Grand Design or something similar. Anyways, hope you guys enjoy this video. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more videos like it. You can also check us out at
DeannaSadventures.com.
And I promise I'll actually update that website sometime in the future. It's been like a year since I've touched it. But anyways, we'll see you guys in the next one. And as always,
adventure on.